true. You know what? Let's just let the draft dictate. Yuumi banned, though, again, when available, will still be picked. CLG Academy aren't that crazy.
Yeah, it's like we don't need to experiment with that. Once something is proven, you don't need to keep reproving gravity. You don't need to keep dropping apples.
All right, well, Sona also banned away. Seen some Sona Kench and Sona Tarek, of course, this week. But no luck here as teams have, I think, figured out that Sona is the right ban to target those types of lanes.
Yeah, definitely the case, and it feels like where a lot of the meta is heading with these bans, as there's so many strong of the flex picks and so many strong supports right now that what people prefer to do is ban out the 2 strong supports and let 2 of the strong flex picks through. And it's like, okay, you take Silas, I take Aatrox. You take Aurelia, I take Silas. And they do these kinds of trades rather than doing a support trade, which enables weirder team comps. Whereas like a Sona will open up a Sona Tarek, whereas Aurelia is just Aurelia. She's strong, but she's not super unique in what she's going to do.
She's also banned this game alongside Aatrox, so again, you kind of have to pick your favorites of 8 or so as far as those strong individual solo laners go. 10 seconds now for the last ban in this phase for Golden Guardians Academy. Just ban Pyke. Just do it.
No.
Prevent the madness.
No.
No? Okay, invite the madness.
Yes.
Standard ban. Akali, Ryze, Jace. No, Vega!
That's fine. And Vega, as crazy as he is, boring, I think. He's just Q farming before he drops his combo and like maybe cages someone. It's not hype. It's not mechanical hype.
I guess I can agree.
I used to be mechanical hype when you'd have to Deathfire Grasp in there too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Land the stage, W, Deathfire Grasp, QE, or QR.
I'm so sad. All right, well, Silas banned away again. That does leave the door open for Ryze, and snapped off pretty quickly there by Golden Guardians.
Yeah, most likely top lane. You know, this is one of those champions we're talking about, like, yes, it's a flex, but more often than not, it's going top. Palafox has played Ryze in the past, has had some good performances on the Ryze, but I expect that to mostly focus on the top lane. It'll be interesting to see what they want to pair up against it. The Akali, I think this is the first Akali we're going to see today. It hasn't been banned for the most part either.
Been banned a little, has dropped through some drafts because Aatrox and Silas have been open a lot.
Yep.
But yeah, this is Akali's first appearance today at least. As you mentioned, Tuesday, a player that was on that when she was first reworked and put back into competitive. Curious to see where that one ends up, but expecting mid lane here. And Nautilus as well for call-in, so it might be a bit more normalcy for Clutch Gaming, CLG Academy.
I'm disappointed. I finally
I agree.
for Academy.
I know.
They're like, meh, I feel like playing Standard today.
Maybe if you keep asking him to...
It's worked before. I asked Dardoch to play Rengar. CLG, play weird stuff for me.
All right, we'll see what happens. 10 seconds for Golden Guardians Academy to make pick number 2. Don't expect them to stray off the beaten path too often.
Yeah, I think it is interesting, this kind of experiment that Golden Guardians is doing, because as much as we're talking about it's veteran players, like Hard has been around for a long time, was the starter on Echo Fox for a little bit, was on TLA, he's been around a million different teams, and he is definitely a veteran. Huhi is still, while a veteran, his first split in support, so there is still some learning going on even with the veteran players.
Yep, certainly been a role swap that made sense for Huhi, and so far so good, but still not playing with at least his intended AD. He's certainly played a lot on stream and solo queue with FBI. He was at least able to practice, but not currently authorized to work, which is why Definitely is playing instead. Nico going to join Olaf there as the next 2 picks there for Golden Guardians. So kicking back over to CLG for pick number 3.
It'll be interesting where this goes because, you know, Nico, we saw the one time today was a mid lane Nico, and it looked pretty good. So I'm open to see that mid lane again, but I think it is pretty matchup dependent. I think you want the Ryze into the Akali, though I think both are actually fine. While she's invisible, the E can land. If you can hit confirm it, you can just drop the Q right on top with AP Nico. Ryze, much the same way, the E spreads regardless, and you can QE or EQ the minion wave and get a lot of damage onto her even when she's invisible. So both these are actually pretty good Akali matchups, I believe. Now, maybe you start getting all in as Nico later, and you have a hard time surviving in a side lane, but that's past laning phase.
We'll see what happens with the rest of the draft, because it's Sivir and then Draven and Jace going to follow for the next few bans. So nothing crazy just yet for CLG Academy, but you do never know. We'll see what their final ban for this draft is.
The Jace ban, I think, to me, I mean, Jace is strong to both Ryze. Yeah, I mean, it's just strong in general. Pretty much wins every laning phase without jungler assistance. So they are kind of saying we want to win our matchups, and so they want to make sure they have stronger solo lanes, which I like with the Olaf. We've seen the Olaf without winning lanes before, and it can be a little disappointing how ineffective he is. He's just farming and covering lanes and throwing axes at people pushed in. So I do like when he can really get in another jungler's face and mess him up, or potentially dive a turret and just run someone down.
Well, Zaya, the last pan there for CLG, so taking some ADs away. Cannon, nice target there, away from Fallen Bandit, and also just a generally good champion.
Yeah, definitely one of the... There's a couple kind of almost Cannon one tricks in Academy.
Floating around.
Jenkins, there's Fallen Bandit, both of them I feel like have made their name mostly on Cannon.
What is the pick here for CLG? And Golden Guardian's going to finish things off. Looks like they need a bot lane. Looks like CLG need a jungler. And Moon has decided that Lee Sin is where he wants to be today.
Lee Sin is not... I'm not feeling the Lee Sins I've seen.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Caitlyn locked in here for Deathly. I unfortunately forgot to check the tapes from the rest of the week, but Deathly has played a lot of Varus and Ezreal. I don't know if he's changed things up this week, now that it has been Super Week, but this is certainly a different pick than we've seen in LCS.
I mean, this is the perfect place to branch out a little bit more. You're in Academy, it's not the LCS stage, and I think it does fit with that kind of pokey, more lane-dominant playstyle that you see with Varus and pokey, at least with Ezreal. So the longer range champion does make a lot of sense for Deathly.
Also surprised to see no Lux actually here for Huhi, but I guess just really favoring the power of Black Shield versus Nautilus. And last pick is a Rumble there for Fallen Bandit. So if you were expecting the Ryze and the Akali to go head-to-head, that does appear to be where they will go.
Yeah, I like Lux a little bit more than Morgana, but I can understand if you're concerned about the all-in threat from the Nautilus. Morgana is great into that. And you're already going to win the lane, so I'm surprised they doubled down into winning the lane, in my opinion. But at least this way it feels super hard to lose. And very difficult executing team fight again. I feel like every time I see Rumble, it's always a Lee Sin. I'm like, why? These don't have that creative synergy together.
Yeah.
It's always a little disappointing for me.
Yeah, it's not Draven, it's not Sejuani, who I think was banned.
It's not, even Rek'Sai, you just knock him up in place. You know, like the CC, you can't hard CC someone with Lee Sin in place on top of an equalizer. Even a Rek'Sai, you can equalizer flash him Burrow or something like that. So it is a little disappointing to see, but they do feel like they need a playmaker. I feel like they need a playmaker to get into these lanes and influence the mid lane, influence the top lane, which do feel like if things go even, should be in favor of Golden Guardian solo lanes, especially since we press the attack on hit Nico.
It is. So I was going to ask the question in draft, but Darshan has been very partial to the more on-hit Nico style. Not really interested in grouping with the team. Wants to just hang out in the little kingdom in top lane and make Rumble's life as miserable as he possibly can.
But we have seen Huni versus Someday. Someday played the on-hit Nico into Rumble and got clapped after losing a 2v2 in the top side. So it may be a little bit more volatile of a matchup than you're used to seeing with a lot of lane-dominant auto attack-based champions like Kennons and Jaces and things like that. So we'll have to see if Moon can get up there and make something happen and show that this Lee Sin pick was worth it, because it is not a great team fight champion. It doesn't synergize super well with the rest of your team comp. It's just there to stabilize your lanes, which might lose naturally.
Oh, good hook there. Guardian will proc, but I think Golden Guardians are happy, actually. Oh, nice binding follow-up there. Also, huge trade there onto autos. So certainly according to plan, they're calling like, wait a second, I can hook them. It's like, don't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, you also might want to land the Boomerang Blade if you are going to hook them. Very unfortunate that that did nothing from auto and put them in a position to get traded back on super hard. Already a tough lane matchup, but put on the back foot before the minions even got there.
And Darshan just trying to get things going off here for the Nico. Has the W leveled, which is pretty common for both variants. W's just so good at helping you control the early game with your autos. It's Palafox early on to Tuesday.
W second was an interesting choice there. Usually you see the E or Q taken, excuse me. E first, then Q, but good for locking him down and getting some trades onto him.
Bit of guaranteed damage, perhaps. Yeah. As level 2 now here for Deathly and Huhi. Deathly being very mean. Though he's playing the lane right now. Still only level 1 here. Auto and Colin. Colin finally dings over as Darshan with a nice root does get some damage down onto Fallen Bandit. And this is the on-hit Nico happy place when you're pushing your opponent into tower.
This is one of those games where the pressure on Moon is so high. You have, like we said, basically 3 losing lanes. And an Olaf who is very strong and pretty good into Lee Sin. You know, you don't really need to be scared of him. And so, you know, you see how aggressive Hard is being, knowing that his Morgana can move up here and Caitlyn can 1v2 the lane.
Kind of feels like 4 losing lanes in some ways. Moon can't even get some sort of advantage.
Jungle's not a lane, Pastry.
All right, that's true. Scuttle Crab though over to Hard after he steals the blue buff successfully.
Yeah, this feels pretty rough. Obviously, they can come back into the game if they can find a lot of these kills. Golden Guardians comp is pretty squishy, or I should say volatile in that sense, where if you start falling behind really hard, you can start getting killed in side lanes. Akali versus on-hit Nico should go pretty favoring Akali if you get ahead. So if they can find these, great. But the problem with 3 losing lanes for Lee Sin is even if
he's in there. Boy. He's so in there. That's the first blood if I've ever seen one. Moon with the flash still dies. And now Darshan chasing down on a fallen bandit, going to force the scrap shield into the silence.
GG go next?
Not an option, unfortunately.
Not for me.
Well, it's just on again. I mean, hard, just no hesitation. Sees Moon, is like, yep, you're mine.
Yeah, lands that first Q, and then Moon paths. He was dead no matter what. The Rise had the inside track, so he had to path back on top of the Axe. If he is able to get to the right side, he can actually path away from the Axe and deny the reset of the refund. But because he has to go left, it's so easy for Hard to pick the Axe up again, and then no ward hop. He can't flash before he gets to the pit, so he has to hope he can make it to the pit. So Hard knows he has 0 outs there for the Lee Sin and just does a great job killing him. Yep, really well done by Hard. And I was already talking about how difficult it is for Lee Sin in this position, because even if you go top and you get the Nico's flash, that's just telegraphing the other 2 lanes they can push as hard as they want. Every time you show, it actually not only alleviates pressure in your one lane, but exacerbates the pressure in the other 2 lanes. And when you just get killed in the river by yourself, it's just like, oh.
Now all 3 lanes can go aggressive.
Yeah.
And, or at least continue to go aggressive as 10 CS right now up for Deathly. Huhi roaming in, trying to cancel some recalls or at least see what's going on. Fires up a binding, takes a turret shot, you know, all in a day's work right now for Morgana. This is actually taking a page out of CLG Main's book on the Golden Guardian side. Haven't seen Morgana Caitlyn in a while, but Caitlyn may be a champion that's making a small resurgence.
Yeah, definitely. I think talk about the main roster. I like when CLG's main roster plays this lane-dominant bot lane, a pretty independent top laner, and then you put PoE on a scaling mage. Maybe not exactly Rise, but something of the sort. And so, yeah, taking a page out of the main team's playbook. And unfortunately for CLG, not able to use that Akali flex pick, because I think Golden Guardians did a good job of grabbing 2 matchups that it's good into, and then kind of just seeing which is the best.
Definitely. He's the support main. Expertly freezing the wave there before the turret. Using the brush to bounce the aggro, and now with a BF sword, he'll scoop up as many CS as he likes. Is Huhi going to roam over to help out Hard. Palafox also going to roam over to provide some extra coverage, and Moon's on a ward. Oh, he's in there. Palafox. Flash root didn't land the E though. Tuesday also in the pit. Hard needs a little bit of help to help bail him out here, but he does have a smite ready. Is going to grab it. Moon can't get in there. But there's the hook, does not land there from the Nautilus. Hard doesn't get executed by Akali either. The Realm Warp though trying to get him out, but Hard is already dead as Palafox is able to escape.
Yeah, a bit of a weird execution there by Golden Guardians off an idea that makes some sense. I don't love the decision to freeze the wave when you're about to go force a dragon down, so I was a little surprised to see Deathly working that hard for that, but it didn't stop him from getting over to the fight. The bigger problem was, hold on here.
Well, just hit there, but the equalizer, good response there from Fallen Bandit. Darshan going to get chased, but the binding is there. And Fallen Bandit, just going to be a trade of ults there between the 2.
There's that spread damage while still in the Shroud that we were talking about with why Rise is a good matchup into Akali. And yeah, the bigger problem with that play was, I don't know why Palafox shot a Q out and then went for the flash root over the wall. If you want to combo that together, you could have telegraphed it less and combo with the Morgana to have her binding in flight, so when you go for the flash E root, you're guaranteed to double root him and get the insta-kill. Because that didn't work, Moon was able to still kind of contribute to this fight, and then you also left Olaf alone in the pit while that went on, so the Akali and Tuesday could go run in there and get wild. So a very strange execution on that Dragon Force, which I think was ultimately the right call given their composition. You want to be as aggressive as possible. You just need to clean that up a little bit.
Well, Tuesday now maybe starting to roam around a little bit more. Also so Hard in the top lane, helping Darshan push things out. But maybe just a bit of resetting happening there for Darshan. Does have a Negatron cloak now, so it will be Wit's End first here. For the on-hit Nico, makes sense against something like a Rumble.
And I guess, to be fair, the nice thing about the freeze is it has their minions killing your minions, so you are denying CS while that whole river skirmish is going on. So you see a huge lead accumulating in the bot side for Golden Guardians Academy bot lane.
Yeah, definitely does not see a reason to stop this either. Just straight in Otto's face. Trying to keep him away from as many waves as possible. And he's even ready with a binding in case auto slips up.
We'll see if he does.
Not yet. Good little attempt there from Huhi, but couldn't quite find the angle. And now that Colin's returned back to the lane, perhaps they can contest a little bit more aggressively for the farm, but currently 20 down between the two ADs.
Yeah, and down priority mid lane, so they have to be careful about these kinds of roams by Rise. The nice thing about winning that Drake skirmish is it's not just, okay, we got to kill and alleviated some pressure, but it gives you a moment to force a vision battle. If you're always down pressure, it's so hard to actually fight for vision control back, and then these Rise roams become so much more oppressive. But because you won that fight, it gives you time to get vision control back, and now you are able to respond a little bit better to any of the mid lane roams.
Darshan also continuing to be a bully there in the top lane. So it's two different range champions bullying on either side of the map for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, but you can see how dark it was in the bot side there for Golden Guardians Academy. It allows Moon to potentially set up a gank. They can actually start making plays now that it's not 3 perma-pushed lanes with wards all over the river.
We'll see how long Golden Guardians can kind of hold these leads, even in mid, but top and bot certainly going their way. And with that first Drake, no reason for Golden Guardians to really panic. Just going to let Palafox farm things out with the blue and kind of keep building up strength to the Caitlyn, who is always good in the early levels. Let's see how quick we can get to those item spikes as Darshan trying to outplay here in the 1v2. Tuesday really nicely played. Finds a slow, gets the ulti, but actually a promo up is going to turn it back around. Nice play there from Palafox. Escorts hard in, and that's Darshan that actually ends up helping his team get the kill. Good little spread there as hard flashes out from under the depth charge. Shapeshifter there from Darshan just to buy a bit more time, but Palafox maybe going to have to sacrifice himself. Here's Huhi though, going to try and roam things up. A good double binding there from Darshan. The Soul Shackles is going to get kicked away by Moon, so only Colin gets stunned at the end of it all. But Tuesday, he's got really not that much gap closer left. He's trying to fire Qs, but now he's getting too low. Colin flashes in, dives there to Huhi, but it's a trade as Nico also forced. But Olaf able to grab that next kill, and very scrappy in the top side.
Yeah, Madness breaks out in the top lane. Huhi making the roam all the way up there as well. Ends up being, I think, a 4v3, 4v4. Every single person but the ADs made their way up here. And surprised this didn't go worse for Golden Guardians, all things considered. Darshan able to kite out, even with the equalizer on top of him. And then the fact that Hard showed up as well. I thought it was just a Rise joining in, but it actually had turned that from a 2v2 into a 3v2, which gave them enough damage to actually win it. And then a very nice retreat out. Huhi able to get in here. Palafox stepping forward. Was not able to get the Black Shield there in time. If he was a split second earlier, might have been able to stop that hook from Colin from landing. And then they would have really won this fight hard, but just over-aggression as not quite ready for how many skill shots can come out. Even the Olaf can throw an axe or two. So a bit over-aggressive by the side of CLG.
And people are still back here on the top side. I believe did see Tuesday again. They're going to leave Fallen Bandit back to his pleasant 1v1 here versus Darshan. As Palafox currently pushing the wave in as covered by Moon.
And unfortunately, despite the trades of kills being relatively close, this is all coming with a pressure deficit. So 20, 30 CS deficit in the bot lane, 10 in the mid, 15 in the top lane, and almost 40 in the jungle.
Yeah, it just feels like the gold leads are starting to stack up a little too fast. CLG tried to make a 3-man play onto mid lane, but Palafox with enough vision, able to see that and walk away. That leaves definitely to get his second plate of the wave, and continues to pepper autos in. Not even really, up to a major item just yet for the Caitlyn. Just BF and a bit of attack speed there.
That's actually my favorite point in the game when I play Caitlyn. Still in the laning phase, but I have my BF sword and a little bit of attack speed, so it feels pretty good. And you just push in the wave over and over and pepper people underneath the turrets.
Yep, that's what's happening. Binding does not land. Auto over the turret. Into the Black Shield, definitely getting out of there with a net. Does have his flash, so probably okay. Moon looking to find the kick, gets Huhi, but Huhi with a great stopwatch. As Tuesday's dove down, that's a good execution though. Auto able to grab the kill, finally get some gold for himself here. Hardo landing the next undertow. Here's the ace in the hole, but blocked out. But still, I think Hard is going to try and play cleanup. Looking for Tuesday, it's the next one, the undertow, able to grab the double kill. As Golden Guardians Academy turn it back around.
Yeah, they were able to collapse in there. CLG getting punished again for trying to make a move on the bot side. And you get to see why the Morgana pick is so effective into that Nautilus, able to just straight out immune that kind of ultimate. And even with the Sivir speed up, it wasn't quite enough to get them involved in that play. It took so long to get on there that Palafox and Hard had time to make it down. They also had the Rift Herald to drop at the tail end of it. So a good idea by CLG that was just too telegraphed.
Yep, definitely lane advantage now grows even larger as they take the first turret and get all the plates. They'll take the Cloud Drake as well. And Shelly even gets the extra credit for charging into the tier 2 as Moon will finally finish off the monster. So this game's getting well out of hand. It's almost 5,000 gold up for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, so take another look at it here. Just too slow to get down. Rise, you see where he is in base right now. Still at the mid inhibitor when he starts making it in. Ends up TPing to get there a little bit faster. And that was how much time they had to react to that play. And good job as well by Huhi for stalling out for as long as he did, as well as really hard landing those 3- and 4-man axes to get so much AoE damage down. Super well played by both of them, as well as definitely as they were getting collapsed on, he didn't panic and go full retreat mode and just completely run. He made sure to pepper in the headshots and throw his Q and E out to make sure that they were damaging as they were getting collapsed on, so when the turn eventually happened, it wasn't a bunch of full HP opponents.
No, well played overall by Golden Guardians, continuing to show off here in Academy. 5,000 gold ahead, looking to push down mid and continue the siege power as Caitlyn, I like this choice from Deathly. It's cool. Rapid fire cannon actually the first item here, so heavily investing in siege power.
It's not too uncommon that you see a Caitlyn go finish her Shiv item before finishing her BF item, but I don't feel like I usually see a rapid fire in those situations. I could be wrong, but I feel like I've been seeing more static Shivs and things like that recently, but rapid fire, obviously a great item from Caitlyn, taking her long range and just exacerbating how powerful that is.
Yeah, to ludicrous levels. This dive brewing up here on the top side. Hard again, going to kick things off. Darshan takes the first 2 turret shots. Very well played by Golden Guardians Academy as CLG TPing in his Tuesday. Ooh. Goodbye. But killing Nautilus at least for Golden Guardians Academy. Tuesday, though, does well to pick up 1 in top lane. Has to TP for it, though.
Yeah, I don't know. That seemed like Hard was expecting Darshan to come back and help him, and maybe they can 1v2 the situation or 2v1 the situation. But Darshan was like, "Dude, I'm at 200 HP. A call is going to kill us both." So I think it was ultimately the right call by Darshan not to come back. But unfortunate that he loses his stopwatch for that miscommunication.
Sivir with a decent little bit of wave clear. Now the auto has the Essence Reaver, but not stopping Deathly from shooting the turret when he can. As we'll watch this one again. The first part of the dive is really nice here from Golden Guardians.
And this is what I was talking about, where Olaf with pushing lanes I love to see, because his dive is just so easy when they don't have hard CC or any ways of tricking you. You just run at them, press Q, and as soon as they flash, you flash on top of them again. I really like seeing that. And unfortunately, yes, Tuesday has the TP advantage. They were not doing a great job of tracking cooldowns because Palafox had TP'd down to the bot side previously to cover a play. Here's that pick off in the mid lane. Just disgusting.
Oh my god, that's
TC.
so much. That's gross. Colin even flashed at the end there, just, you know, for...
He's got heal? But not unsealed spellbook. Am I crazy?
He has a Hex Flash heal.
Oh, I was like, what? I don't know why that looked like Ignite to me for a second.
Oh, yeah.
A little monitor far away from my eyes.
Kind of looks like Ignite from here. I can see that. But it is Hex Flash. Saw that used to great effect in one of our games earlier today. We'll see if Colin has similar creativity levels up his sleeves. Tuesday also apparently is like, you know what, this Nico thing, I like it a lot more than what's going on before. Actually used the ulti. Looks like trying to start an all-in.
Yeah, he has Moon coming up here to try to help him. So they are trying to make something happen. This is what I was talking about with the Akali eventually being able to potentially win in side lanes, because Nico has not slammed necessarily. She has nice farm, but she's still behind the enemy mid laner in farm. She doesn't have any kills, so not actually respectively strong.
Palafox with a big rotation around, but now Fallen Mana going to catch him. Still more than enough defense to keep Rise alive. Palafox low on mana though. Oh, it does have a bit more than first appears.
Not a lot of ultimates out though for the side of Golden Guardians. You have no Nautilus ult now, no Sivir ult. You feel pretty good about that with the Drake coming up in 40 seconds. Those won't be available. You still grab the mid lane turret with that pressure. So a little touch and go there. You get chunked to half HP on a number of your members, but it doesn't actually end up costing you anything because the Drake is still 30 seconds away.
Golden Guardians Academy just continuing to play very good, straightforward League of Legends. They know where their advantages are. Definitely going to go back and buy up a... Nope, not a second Doran's Blade. That's not it. Clicks on the Affinity Edge. There we go. That's the one he wanted. I knew there was an item coming in, and when I saw the second Doran's, I'm like,
that's
a misclick. Thankfully, they saved by the undo button, and now we have a 2-item Caitlyn at 18.5 minutes. Quite a bit faster than most people would expect. Definitely going to have a very smooth ride to 3+ items this game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it really does feel like, can Tuesday kill Darshan in the side lanes and kind of set them up to transition into the mid to late game through that? And even then, once they do, it's not like their team comp is super good late game in any situation but that kind of split push. And they can always match the Rise versus the Akali if they try and chase him down as opposed to kind of go for that split situation. Both AD carries scale relatively well into the late game, both mid laners as well. Both top laners, I would say, it does favor Rumble in team fights quite significantly. But Lee Sin is very difficult to execute on, whereas Olaf can just be a meatball for the Caitlyn.
Yeah, and you can see Palafox just catching waves. Doesn't want to invite the wrath of Moon and Tuesday, who have been sticking together quite a lot in the side lane, but that does just open up space here for Darshan and for the mid lane. And so he takes not an insignificant amount of damage, but definitely, again, just so strong.
Yeah, probably wants to find some river fruit. Doesn't look like there's any there, so he's going to have to head back to base. Unfortunate for Huhi. Oh, maybe there is some. Or just wanted to be a little safer with the recall.
I like the responsibility taken there. One of the veteran players of the team, despite being new to his role.
That's plenty of veterans I know recall in unsafe spots. I see it all the time. Huhi's too smart for that.
Definitely also temp work as a jungler. Oh, it's close! Headshot the crab. Nice work there for Deathly. The better jungler than Auto.
The whole crab is the head. Everything's a headshot.
Oh, that's true. Very unfortunate for Scuttle Crab, who is, probably has maybe the worst survival instincts of any monster in the jungle.
I mean, it's fight or flight. It does technically flee.
That's true.
It's the only one with the flight mechanic.
It's true. Unfortunately, that's very slow.
Everything else has the fight.
Oh, Dragon also can fly, if we're being exact, but yes, I agree. As Hook's not quite connecting there for Colin. Again, Morgana doing a nice job shutting down a lot of the easy engages that Nautilus can find. Still, there are some more opportunistic things you can do if you can bait out the Black Shield. Also of note that Ardent Sensor is completed for Huhi, so this Caitlyn that looks like she's only at 2 items is really more like 3 or 2.5.
It's also the kind of thing where there's so much magic damage on their team that, you can maybe work some interesting combos where you layer an equalizer on top. So even if you try and Black Shield it, the equalizer burns it off and then the Nautilus ult comes through. Tuesday's in trouble.
Playtime though. Ooh, Soul Shackles Tuesday in there, finds a Q after PE2. But there's hard flashing in, not going to get out of that one. A little hard kick back, he's going to go down to Moon. Here's Darshan chasing down Colin. Good route there. Ace and Hold does a massive amount of damage to the support Nautilus. And Darshan just flashed in for the last auto and was able to get a kill.
Palafox though.
In there, ooh, gets it. Just tanking everybody here. Fallen Bandit, even with the ulti, not able to really get out safely. Rise continuing to try and find routes. A good harpoon for Fallen Bandit protects him and Auto, but Golden Guardians Academy continuing to leverage their gold lead.
A very scrappy fight that, CLG make the most of, getting a 3 for 2 trade, but just not enough. Too far behind to really make anything of this. It's good job by Tuesday recognizing who he's out of position. I can finish him off. But then does not actually get over to any safety. Flashing right back there, and then Hard does a good job trading his life out, and then it's all about Darshan's rotation that actually turns it back in their favor. At this point, it's a 2 for 1 in favor of CLG, but this is an excellent collapse that they're able to turn back into a 3 for 2. So very well done. Palafox maybe could have kited forward a little bit more here. Dodges some skill shots instead. Hard to fault him for that, but well done to collapse in the jungle with that ultimate.
And Gold Lead is continuing to kind of tick up.
One of the few saving graces is that it is the Olaf who has 7 of the kills.
In we go again. Black shielded Olaf. That feels quite unfair. Fallen Bandit forced to flash away. Ace in the hole! Sniped as Auto had the shield up, but was not in front.
Definitely contributing with that semi-global ultimate, super long-range snipe out. And Rez, I was saying, it's not so bad because Hard has 70 kills. Hard then goes and basically solos your top laner, which is pretty terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've seen the rise of much more aggressive Olafs in recent games. This may be one of the situations where, you know, usually you wouldn't be afraid of old Cinder Hulk, Righteous Glory Olaf, but this one a lot more deadly.
Yeah, this is one of the new builds people have been doing in solo queue when the Olaf does get off the ground. Kind of like what we were saying with Jarvan. People do go this much more aggressive Olaf build, and it's an absolute nightmare in 1v1 situations and any sort of skirmish. So glad to see Hard going the aggressive build when he got all those kills.
So Drake up in 10 seconds. CLG will take the speed shrine in front of it and see if they do want to get onto the Cloud Drake ASAP, because they're going to have to if they want to take it. Moon slightly mistimes that Q, but not too much of a bother here. Ski and Auto should be able to grab this. At least CLG Academy able to grab themselves a Drake and keep the third Cloud out of the Golden Guardians' hands.
Yeah, a bit of a disappointing recall timing for Golden Guardians, given that they just got a kill on the top side. They're not able to get reset in time, and now they're trying to force the Baron down in response. Luckily, they are very far ahead, but the enemy team is here in time.
And they'll pull away. No need to overcommit there. There are 2 control wards that CLG can pick up. But it looks like they're going to rotate back to mid here again. With the outer tower still up, Golden Guardians Academy have plenty of room to move up towards this left-hand quadrant and continue to maintain supremacy over the Baron area.
Yeah, just not quite what you want to see out of the veteran roster. They should know how to reset in time for that Drake and kind of continue forcing. And if they were already in position at the Baron to force as CLG started up the Cloud Drake, I would get it. But that was in reaction to being out of position. They went from base to Baron because they realized they'd be too late, and Darshan was recalling as the Drake was going down. So just some unfortunate timings there by Golden Guardians to give CLG their first Drake of the game.
A little sloppy, but we'll see how the rest of the game kind of plays out. Golden Guardians still looking to, you know, pick up some positive records here to finish out the week. Despite having some good looks and some strong players, currently fielding more LCS players than intended. Still have dropped games to some good teams, so.
Especially since Definitely has been such a large part of this win, just kind of crushing the bot lane. I'm sure CLG is a little, CLG Academy's a little upset, like, hey, where's the FBI guy? We want to play against him, not Definitely.
Yeah, well, certainly see. Excited to see what the future of Golden Guardians Academy does look like, but the game certainly looks like all Definitely right now. 3 items done. This is, again, anytime when you hit 3 items with Caitlyn this smoothly, it's always going to feel like a great game, and Definitely just can't really do too much here, apart from, like, face check the Akali aggressively and then net towards her. It's going to take a lot for Definitely to struggle in this game, given that he's got
Don't be
Pocket
near
Morgana.
Hugi, so that the only hard CC in Nautilus connects.
Yeah, literal 1v5 attempts notwithstanding. Although Tuesday's starting to get something going here. Oh, down before they can warp away. Tuesday, all right. I think you said it already, but he is the power point that CLG Academy will have to lean on.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised he was able to find that kill. They're basically equal items, and I thought the Rise would have, with the Seraphs and Brace completed, enough HP in the shielding to survive any all-in attempt, but able to finish him off there. Very impressive by Tuesday.
Golden Guardians are continuing to roam up, but just an axe there. No binding really found for Huhi, so CLG get away and out of their jungle as Tuesday continues to try and split push. And, you know, Akali, I think often go TP these days, but you can sometimes see something more aggressive. But TP will pay out nicely in this game if Tuesday can continue to find kills and run interference in a side lane.
This is definitely one of those games where if Tuesday can exert enough pressure, Golden Guardians team comp starts to fall apart a little bit because their 4-man force is actually not very good. They don't have any real lockdown CC. It's all skill shot at best, and Morgana's the only hard CC if Ryze is out in the side lane dealing with Akali. And then it's super hard to just brute force down because the Rumble ultimate can just come flying in and they can push you off the Baron quite easily if you're just brute forcing it. So if Tuesday can keep finding solo kills in side lanes, like that was one where Palafox was maybe too far pushed up and got caught out of position, but it could begin to unravel Golden Guardians' lead.
Well, I mean, they haven't really built it up, actually, in these last 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe just waiting on the next Drake spawn, maybe trying to set things up so the Baron is a bit more straightforward to take. But whatever it is, Golden Guardians Academy, I feel like do need to pick up the pace a little bit here. Darshan now has 2 items, so he's a very good threat. definitely has been a consistent threat throughout the game already, and Rise also working on item number 3 with an active stopwatch at the ready. I think, again, being a little bit more confident in your ability to kind of siege up and exert pressure is something I'm looking at now for Golden Guardians, especially, as you mentioned, considering the amount of experience on this roster.
Yeah, I think you're talking about snowballing games. Losing Drakes for no reason is definitely not what you want to see. And they're trying now to pressure more around the Drakes, or the Baron, but like I was saying, CLG do have some decent tools to avoid these really hard Baron forces.
So they're going to have to keep sticking together. Tuesday, though, maybe just fancies a flank, but not really a side lane for him to get to right now. Unfortunately for CLG, despite, you know, Golden Guardians making some mistakes here and there, they're still at the whim of what Golden Guardians want to do. So if waves are just getting pushed in that they can counter farm, they'll be actually pretty happy with that, given that they're still behind a significant amount of gold.
Realm Warp onto the Baron. I don't know why they did that. They Realm Warp Morgana onto the Baron? Did I see that right? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
Rise Realm Warp is down.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have it. Darshan going to solo out this Ocean as well. But starting to see some flubs perhaps here from Golden Guardians Academy.
They're definitely curious, and they on-hit Nico, as we know, is not great late game. We did see at MSI Impact was able to still execute in team fights with the on-hit Nico, but it's definitely not a powerhouse like Rumble.
No, not in the same league.
Not at all.
As far as team fighting power goes. Also, Deathcap third now. Tuesday's actually done with 3 items. I was about to say Deathcap second like he was some sort of crazy person, but actually he's got Morello second like a normal person and just has enough money for a Deathcap. So you can see that he knows that, all right, if someone's gonna carry this game for CLG, it's gonna be me.
So here we see this
Party portal! Nobody wanted to go.
I'm confused because I think I just saw definitely net towards it as well.
Yeah, apparently there was something.
I think they were going to try and ult to it and 3-man it, but then maybe they saw that Akali was actually already kind of in position to contest that and they gave up on it. I don't know. It was weird.
Darshan looking for a solo kill. Nico so oppressive. Doesn't get the chase down, but that's enough pressure. Golden Guardians finally finding some of this siege pressure here.
Yeah, able to just brute force in 5v5 situations. 2 inner turrets down. You know, the one power point for CLG is off on the top side of the map. They're kind of ignoring him for now. Eventually someone's going to have to go deal with him. Or they're just going to go to this Baron and try and cut him off. We'll see.
Tuesday now leaving the lane. So he does see the rest of Golden Guardians dip out. Also Darshan out of vision as well, ready to teleport if he'd like. Moon covering again to make sure Tuesday does not fall into any traps, and this is actually a really nice brush for them to sneak into because Golden Guardians are starting this Baron.
Yeah, they will see them now on that ward, so they know they're not completely stealthy, and it will be enough to force them out.
All right, well, they didn't see Moon, but you could have maybe snuck in for a steal, but Golden Guardians just make the discipline play there, not looking to take any risks.
Yeah, I wonder how far CLG is willing to stall this game out, because it's hard to see an exact power spike they're waiting for. You know, as long as they protect their base turrets, which can be difficult versus on-hit Nico and Caitlyn, but if they can protect them, maybe they're just buying time for Tuesday to kind of make a play in a side lane, and then they'll get aggressive. But, you know, if Golden Guardians avoids Tuesday just outright like they've been doing, he'll never make that big play. So it feels like both teams are kind of waiting for the other team to make their mistake, where Tuesday capitalizes and kills someone, or Golden Guardians can able to force this Baron down because they're out of position.
Oh no, it's not the button you wanted to press, Palafox.
Just trying to ward, it looked like. Oof.
Thankfully, no one saw except us. And maybe his teammates.
No one mentioned anything. Twitch chat, don't say anything.
Yep. CLG will not know that. I mean, I guess if they check in, never mind. It's fine. Golden Guardian getting mid lane pushed. Again, really focusing on this Baron. Tuesday also in a 1v2 situation. Darshan, can he magic his way out here? TP in. Good dodge there from Fallen Bandit out of the Pop Blossom. Equalizer on his Palafox, and now it's a 2v2 as the rest of Golden Guardians push through the mid. Tuesday's not here. They're going to try and go for the pick. Tuesday into stasis. It is going to go down. Palafox able to find the follow-up. Brute and Fallen Bandit's dead as well. Nice play. The Golden Guardians reacting to CLG, trying to find a pick there.
That's that mistake that felt like both teams were waiting for. Darshan did a good enough job surviving and avoiding the all-in to allow the teleport to complete coming through. And then after they had already kind of used their cooldowns on Darshan, it was very easy for Palafox to get the cleanup kill. After that happens, it's once again super easy for the side of the Golden Guardians balling to push in.
Without their threat, without Tuesday, still dead for 25 seconds. Golden Guardians just pushing in. You can see how different they play when they know the Akali can't assassinate someone. That's 2 inhibs very straightforwardly.
All without the Baron buff, so now it really kneecaps Tuesday's ability to try and move around the map when 2 lanes are just automatically pushing all the time. Now Golden Guardians can probably 5-man around Baron, and they don't need to hard commit to it because the waves will just keep pushing on their own. And so in response, CLG is just going to hard force this. I like this decision.
Kind of what you have to do. It's probably your best shot at staying in this game, but it is extremely risky, that's for sure. They know, Golden Guardians know.
Not
See if
doing
they
it too
pull up,
fast.
look for a fight, yeah. Nautilus in, there's Rise Realm warping, but I don't think anyone's in there. It's just a bait portal, definitely able to take out Call in. Tuesday in the backside does get assassination on the hard. Now the Baron is off the table there for Golden Guardians, but double kill there for Definitely. Make it a triple, could be the Quadra. Is it the Penta? Definitely kills almost everyone. And they're going to run straight for the base. Tuesday be damned. He'll die in the fountain if he has to.
Tuesday refuses to give up the Penta. They've got about 20 seconds to find him. We'll see if they do or if this is just the end of the game for Golden Guardians.
It's not a proper end if you don't dive the fountain for the Penta. I'm just going to put that out there. Tuesday trying to wave clear where he can. Golden Guardians doing the irresponsible thing and winning the game instead of getting the Penta. Huhi flashing in. Now they're going to look for it. No, they're not even going to go for it. They'll just take down the Nexus. Definitely denied the Penta. Stolen by the rest of his team. But a victory nonetheless for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, it was a very difficult game for CLG there, and Golden Guardians were able to execute kind of on their just siege and push comp.